everyone, it's Anne Sinclair from Digestive Detective. I hope everybody's had a great weekend. I am back in the office nice and relaxed after my few days off, which is great. So what I want to talk about today is morning routines. Do you have one? I have had one over the years. I probably don't have one right at this minute, but I have had one over the years, especially when my kids were little. So my morning routine when the kids were little would be to get up really early, to have a cup of tea in the peace and quiet, and just sort of work out what I was doing for the day. Because as you can imagine, 3 kids under 3, it was pretty stressful. So it was always good to get into some sort of routine. And even if I didn't stick with it every day, it would help set me up for success during the day, that I could, get things done and feel like I've had time to myself. Hi Pat, how you going? So morning routine is especially good for if you have gut problems, especially if you have sympathetic nervous system dominant gut problems. So what I mean by that is that when you get anxious and have to go to the bathroom, having a morning routine can really help with this. So one of the things around this is when we are up out of bed and we're running around trying to get everything done before we go to work, one of the things is that your gut can go into overdrive because you're raising your cortisol level. You can be increasing the amount of cortisol that's rushing through you, which is turning on your sympathetic nervous system, your dominant nervous system. So you're fight or flight essentially. So what's happening is you're thinking about all the things you've got to get done, and you're just activating the whole system. So rather than do that, it's if you can put a few things in place that will slow you down a bit. So a couple of things that I think morning routines are really good for, they help you set the tone for the day. So if you start in a mad panic, you're probably going to be in a mad panic for the whole day. You feel like you can't catch up. So it gives you a chance to sit and sort of put yourself into that rest and digest mode for the start of the day. Especially useful for that, if you have that urgency around your bowel. So especially good for that. It gets you focused and gets you organized. So it can help you, really know what you want to go after today, because sometimes we get dragged in 100 million different directions. And that also sets up the tone for our day. And it's not necessarily our direction that we want to go. So that's something to think about. It gives you more focused time on you. Sometimes I feel anyway that some days there is no time for me. Whereas if I have a dedicated time set aside, I'm doing self-care then. So it lessens the chance that you'll get resentful because you're not getting to do what you want to do. And I find that if I get up earlier and go for a walk, or sit and have a hot water or a cup of tea, I feel like I've achieved something through the day for myself. Whereas some days if I don't do that, I tend to just go, oh my God, I never get to do anything for myself, and get really stressed about it. It also reduces our stress level. The more we have an opportunity to sit and think through what we are, what we want to do, where we want to go for the day, what our goals and aspirations are to get finished for the day, and just simple things that we want to plan out. It gives us a really good direction of what those things are. We can put it down on paper instead of just getting out of bed and off we go. So one of the other things too, the brain gets to process better in the morning. If you sit and take the time to organize what you want to do for the day, your brain can put it in a better order than just running from one thing to the next thing. So I always think that's a really great idea. And some things that people do in the morning, well, that's not true. A lot of CEOs from companies who are quite successful say that everybody should have a morning routine. And I think there are seasons. I think there are seasons in our life where it's much more easier to have a routine than others. Like for me now, if I could get my bum out of bed in the morning, this would be a really good time. I have no responsibilities, no kids to wake up, no things to do, no lunch boxes to make, just getting myself ready. When you have children, it's exponentially harder. But if you can do one or two things that will, you know, fill up your jar before the day starts, I think that's a really good place to start. So things like, for me, it was just having, especially on the days when I'd clean the floor, being able to stand on the floor, because we have tiles, first thing in the morning to and drink a cup of tea just gave me a very big sense of peace. You know, it was a goal I achieved. I still managed to get some clean floor the next day, so that was always a really nice thing for me, just to sit quietly, get my thoughts in order and see what I want to do for the day. But some other things that people suggest you can do your affirmations, exercise, which is one that I love, and once my back gets back on track, I will be doing that again. Because for me, my brain is very good at talking myself out of doing exercise, and it just takes a second. Yeah, no, don't bother with that, and I'm good to go. I don't bother. So if I can get up and do it first thing in the morning, I'm much more likely to get exercise done. And then for me, that's a real sense of accomplishment, that I've actually done something for myself during the day. So journaling, affirmations, exercise, things like alternate nostril breathing. So for those people who have that really sympathetic driven nervous system where you are rushing all the time, this is a really good way to slow you down and get you back into your body. So Google that. There's some really great things around alternate nostril breathing. And you can also write a goals list and a check-in list of what you want to get accomplished today and some things that you want to do. I often see women who have got these great dreams. Hi, Amanda. Who want to get things done, but there's no time. They always say, there's no time for me to do anything. Having a morning routine will really set you up for success with this, because even if you get to work for 15, 20, 25 minutes, over a long period of time, that really equates to something. You can really achieve a goal doing that. So that's another reason to have a small, achievable morning routine for you. You know, I see people trying to do great amount of things in their morning routine. You don't need to do that. Just start off with a few things. Like for me, it's sitting quietly with a cup of tea. Occasionally it's meditating. Mostly it's exercising. But for me, the biggest thing that gets me through the day is just sitting quietly without anybody else. And if the floor's clean, that's a bonus. I can put my feet on the clean floor. So they're the things, you know, set yourself up for success with the morning routine. You know, they help set the tone for the day, helps get you focused. It's giving you self-care that you might not otherwise get through the day. And I think that's really, if for no other reason, that's really important because it stops us from being resentful about, oh, we never get time for ourselves, we're so busy rushing around for everybody else. It's a real time to fill your own cup before you go off and help everybody else. And even reading a book, you know, nothing gives me greater joy than getting up, having that hot cup of tea, the clean floor, and reading a book. That is my idea of joy first thing in the morning. So tell me, do you have a morning routine? What does it look like? What do you do? Do you think it helps you get more organized through the day? I'd love to hear your comments. Have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.